Hey, we're in the back room today. We're working on the layout. We're doing some pine trees. Now you can buy these pine trees from Woodland Scenics and stuff like that, but for the amount of pine trees that we're going to be using on our layout, which is quite large, we want to make it economical. So what we're doing is we're creating these out of nothing but what we use is furnace material, like furnace filters. Just the cheap ones. You get this blue furnace material. It comes in blue or green or whatever, but you want to get the cheap fibrous ones that I think for one filter it costs you 73 cents. I think I paid 73 cents. And what I did was I cut them up in about 2-inch, 2.5-inch strips, and then into that we cut them in squares, and you can cut them in round, and that's what we're using. Now for the trunks, I did nothing, but I went to the old backyard there and got some old dried materials from bushes and things like that, and that's what I'm using the trunk material for. And what's nice about it is it's all natural. You don't really have to do a lot of painting on that, and you can just cut the strip that you want. Now for the O-scale layout, we're using about 10 to 11 inches, but you can make them literally any size. And what's nice about it, the trunk size can vary too. Now, so what I'm doing here is, this is one I've prepped before I got any of the green on it, and you can see it's got that nice shape and of the pine trees. And what we're going to do now is I'll show you how we assemble it. So after I've cut my furnace material up in 2-inch strips, I want to cut about a square like this. Now I like to round it off with a pair of scissors, and it cuts really easy. And now we have a round. Now on this furnace material, if you've ever seen one, it has like a hard membrane on one side. Just go ahead and peel that off. Okay, we're not going to use that. What we want is this real stringy stuff here. Okay, now this is really easy. Now you can use white glue, but I have the glue gun, the hot glue gun out, and I'm going to measure up. I'm going to leave myself about 2 inches of base material. Some pine trees, they're really high. Some of them are on the ground, but you can cut that off to the length that you want. But just to work with it, it's nice to have that little extra handle. Now I'm just going to take that right up the middle. I'm going to pull it down to where I want it, and then I'm going to take the hot glue gun, and I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue just around it, and then I'm going to slide that down on there. And you can fluff it up a little bit if you want. Now you're going to do this all the way up the trunk, but try to think of it. You don't want too much uniformity. As nature, there's not too much uniformity out there. So I like to leave maybe a little gap. You can actually do it if you want a full tree like a Christmas tree. You can bring it down further. I'm going to bring mine up just a little bit, and just another little bit of white glue or hot glue, and I'm just going to work my way up. And we want to take all these off. This is really inexpensive. You figure how many trees you can make out of a furnace filter. Literally you can make dozens out of them, out of one. And if you're only paying 73 cents for the filter, then that's a good bargain. The trunks, the tree trunks, didn't cost me a thing. Went right outside, picked them up. Now, since I'm using hot glue, that dries relatively quick. Now, if you're using a white glue or something, you're gonna have to leave that dry. But for me, I went a little quicker. I think I'll add one more layer on that, and this time I'm gonna make it maybe smaller, because as it goes up. So I'm gonna take 2 smaller pieces and then just glue them on there. Now you'll have to shape it like any other tree. If you've got a whole forest to do, this is quick and easy. You could actually sit around watching football and doing this or something like that. Now, we've got it like that. Put the gun over there. And it's a little bit scraggly, so I want to kind of trim this up a little bit. So just take my scissors and I cut down on an angle. If you like that Christmas tree look, you can do it more uniform, or you can do it a little bit rougher. You know, some trees have whole bare spots in them and things like that. So, got it like that. Now, of course, we're not going to leave this blue, so just real easy. I'm using a light earth, flat spray paint, and I'm just going to cover up all that blue color and blend that trunk in. Now I suppose you could do this with green too, but I'm using the brown because it blends into, and this is another reason I leave that a little bit longer on the trunk, so it gives me something to handle. And then I use a piece of foam and I'll stick it in there to dry. Now I've already made one, so now if you just want a dead one, I suppose you could leave it like this and intermix that. But what I've done is I've got this mixture of Woodland Scenics clump material for all this, and I've got some lighter turf material. And what I did was I blended my own in nothing more than a coffee grinder, and you can do that for ground cover and stuff like that. So now I've got a mixture of white glue mixed up like scenic cement, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to spray that down and shake off some of the excess. And now from the bottom, I like to take the darker and I like to sprinkle that through the bottom. And you want to leave some of the limbs open just to give it that natural appearance. And then from the top, I like to take some of the dark or the lighter, and I like to sprinkle that around. And that's about it. I shake off the excess, and it's quick and easy. I think it's a nice realistic looking pine tree, and you can actually do these in any color that you want. If you want that dark green, or if you want a lighter green, you can. It's your forest, you can do it any way you want. So I'm Damian Murphy for the Smokestack Hobby Shop. That's our quick tutorial on making pine trees on the cheap. Hardly got any money in materials at all in this, and that's the beauty of it. Thanks. We'll see you later.